Hi everyone, my name is Sade Vance. I am doing my literature review on the impact of social media on presidential elections. So my presentation, the main topics of my presentation will be Twitter and Facebook's influence, the danger of misinformation and fake news, social media and pop culture, and within all of these topics, I'm going to pop in with the 2016, 2020, and 2024 presidential campaigns. It'll just be a little bit here and there, not specifically covering it, all three of those. So social media's role. Social media's most powerful feature is to disseminate information rapidly, allowing users to share and amplify content and any related narratives. If used properly, candidates have the opportunity to reach a vast amount of voters and can hopefully win the election. We saw this in 2016 with Donald Trump's amazing use of social media. In my paper, I do further detail how he did do that as it pertains to my, not going too far off topic, because he had a lot of different techniques that he and his campaign used to secure the win in 2016. But I talk about it a little bit more in detail. So the 2016 presidential election was the first major broadcast of social media's influence on the presidential election. Hillary Clinton was more likable on social media than Donald Trump, but Trump's campaign was able to successfully sway the minds of voters. Donald Trump and his campaign, he was very inflammatory. That was like his theme of his campaign, and he received a lot of backlash, but his campaign was successful in changing the minds, changing the thoughts of voters. Hillary Clinton and the Democrats didn't do a good job of capitalizing on social media, so like Facebook. Facebook was the most important platform that was used, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself before I go into the next slide. Twitter or X. Twitter prohibits users from engaging in likes or comments on posts deemed as misleading, fails to specify what is and isn't misleading. Trump's Twitter or X account shared a post that was misleading and suspended that account, but the platform allowed another to remain on the page with no further action being taken. The post basically, the first one was just something dealing with Trump's or some organization that he had, and the other one that they did not suspend, which was a little bit more questionable, was a post that it was in response to Arizona's governor's election. And the outcome of the election was not in Trump's favor. So since it didn't go in the way that he intended it to go, he said that the election was stolen. And of course, we're seeing that now in present day. He said the 2020 election was stolen from him, and that he wants to keep America great. But it was kind of, I don't know if you see what I see, but you see the bias and the creation of different things that I'm going to later talk about, like fake news and stuff, that he's created. So Facebook limits the visibility of what users can see on its platforms. The January 6th attack on the White House would not allow information associated with the hashtags to be seen. Facebook also uses things like you see in this picture here that I inserted. It blurs images and links and puts a label on things deemed as misinformation. Users have the ability to choose what they want to see, if they want to see it. However, Facebook does censor things. There is a belief that I do talk about in my paper that social media censors the right-wing way of thinking. And the right-wing way of thinking, if you do not know, basically are conservatives, and they believe that social media censors those things. And unfortunately, Facebook and the 2016 election did not help this case at all, because it proved that Facebook and Twitter social media as a whole will censor things that they feel is not needed to be seen on social media. And then that's when you have certain problems, certain issues with fake news, misinformation being spread, and so on and so forth. I briefly talk about fake news and misinformation. Traditional media, television, radio, newspaper, and magazines were once the main source of information before social media. Like I said before, Trump's inflammatory campaign in 2016 doubted the authenticity of news outlets and swayed voters' choices. So Kanye West, George Clooney, and Taylor Swift were all people that I chose to use as just proof of how how social media uses influencers and people to sway the presidential election. Kanye West, of course, ran against Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in 2016 as an independent. After he did back He did back Donald Trump before deciding that he was going to run as an independent. George Clooney wrote a piece in the New York Times on behalf of Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. And Taylor Swift recently backed Kamala Harris. She has 250 million people that follow her. It just shows how impactful that social media and influencers can be on an election. In 2016, we saw an outpour of celebrities like Beyonce, celebrities like athletes like LeBron James and people like that, of huge following, huge influencers that were supporting these different candidates. So I put this quote back in here at the end just to show how impactful social media is. Social media's most powerful feature is to disseminate information rapidly, allowing users to share and amplify content and any related narratives. That is basically my entire presentation. I just gave it on a high level. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye.